Welcome back into the Renegades of Puck podcast. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. We go all the way back to October 10th of the year 2023 and opening day in the NHL, and the Nashville Predators facing off against the Tampa Bay Lightning in Tampa in the first game of the season. Brand new Nashville Predators head coach Andrew Brunette deployed his line combinations for his first game in the following way: Forsberg, O'Reilly, and Parsonen, Nyquist, Glass, and Sherwood, Tomasino, Novak, and Evangelista. Your fourth line is Trennan, Sissons, and Cole Smith. Your defensive pairings are Yossi and Shen, McDonough and Carrier, Luzon and Barry. UC Saros gets the start, of course, in net for the first game of the season. We are just 1 minute and 1 second into the season, and UC Saros is coming up with a save on Radish. It's the first save of the new NHL season. Welcome back, hockey. I did miss you quite a bit. We go to 1:47 of the first period. UC Saros coming up with a save on Tanner Jeannot's long shot. The shots on goal after the first 5 minutes are 5-0 in favor of the Tampa Bay Lightning at 7:15 of the first period. It is Johansson with a save on Trennan, the first shot on goal of the game at 9:24. Saros comes up with a save on Victor Hedman at 9:48 of the first period. Our first goal of the NHL season goes to the Tampa Bay Lightning, and not much of a surprise that it is Kucherov, and it's Stamkos setting the screen after a strong zone entry. No stand-up at all by the Nashville Predators defense there at the blue line, allowing Kucherov to have plenty of space, receive a perfect pass, and cash in. Tampa Bay leads Nashville 1-0. 10:15 into the first period. UC Saros comes up with a save on Chernak, plus the rebound by Tanner Jeannot. 11:02 of the first period. Saros comes up with a save on point off of the rush. Tampa Bay absolutely buzzing to start the season in their home rink. 12:05 of the first period. Perbix takes a penalty. 2 minutes for high sticking allows the Nashville Predators at least to take a breath, but I've got to tell you, the power play was awful. They struggled to even possess the puck and generated 0 shots on goal. 14:18 of the first period. It's Colton Sissons off to the box. 2 minutes for slashing. Saros comes up with a big save on Victor Hedman. Nashville Predators penalty kill does a decent job. At 18:54, Tanner Jeannot tormenting his former team here in the first period, putting in all of the jam. He hits the crossbar on this opportunity with 30 seconds to go in the first period. It's the captain, Roman Josi, off to the box. 2 minutes for slashing. We would hit the intermission with the Nashville Predators being outshot by Tampa Bay 13-2, and while I don't believe I've ever done this before, I'm going to welcome in a guest analyst here to go ahead and sum up the Nashville Predators first period. Take it away, PK.
Nervous. They played nervous there in that first.
Wakey, exit vakey. This is game one. You're on the road. You can't wait until you're at Bridgestone Arena to wait for the crowd to get you into it.
Yeah.
This is game one. You got a lot of young players in the lineup. You got a team that's missing their best player right now. I don't see why you wouldn't be fired up. You got to be skating at least. They're not even pounding their legs. You should be ripping the door off the hinges, excited for a new season to make a difference for your new coach. It's unacceptable for Nashville. I know Yossi gets called in the penalty. We agree it was chintzy. It was a chintzy call, but there's some frustration there, and there should be. They got to play better.
He wants to bench guys already.
Well, listen, let's go. When are you going to start?
You're
going to wait till game 20 to be out of the playoffs.
Big question for Tampa.
We roll over into the second period on a fresh sheet of ice and a carryover of 1 minute and 30 seconds for the power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning. UC Saros comes up with a huge save on Kucherov at 2:07 of the second period. Saros comes up with a blocker save on Kucherov. Edge work absolutely dynamic on this play, putting his skill set out there for the world to see. 4:46 of the second period. It is Johansson coming up with a save on Sissons. Nashville's first shot on goal in 15 plus minutes. 15 plus minutes without a shot on goal in this game. Lots of play between the stars. As a matter of fact, it got kind of sloppy, especially in the passing department for several minutes here, but this also seemed to be a time when the Nashville Predators started getting their skates under them just a little bit. Stamkos off to the box at 10:04 of the second period, right about the midpoint of the game. 2 minutes for tripping. It is Johansson coming up with a save on O'Reilly, and then Johansson a save on Glass. Yossi rebound follow-up does not go. 13:18 of the second period. Sergachev is now off to the box. 2 minutes for holding. Glass is hit in the head by Barry's one-timer. It was a knuckler, but still an intensely hard shot. Glass had to leave the game, go to the locker room for some time. He would return, but scary situation there in the second period on the power play for the Nashville Predators. It would be Johansson coming up with a save on Evangelista once the Nashville Predators got settled, and it took them about another 30 seconds after Glass left the game for the Preds to kind of get their power play back organized. So much better power play here in this period. For the Nashville Predators, 15:43, it's Johansson coming up with a save on Tommy Novak off Luke Evangelista's feed. At 16:15 of the second period, O'Reilly's first goal of the season, first goal as a Nashville Predator, and the Nashville Predators' first goal of the season. It was Philip Forsberg making the play. He brings the puck in and then toe drags and makes a sick feed to the top of the crease, making it to where Ryan O'Reilly only has to tip that puck into the net, and he does so expertly, tying the game up at 1 apiece. Nashville 1, Tampa Bay 1, 16-15 through the second period. Preds starting to gain just a little bit of momentum. 19:34 of the second period is Johansson coming up with a save on Cole Smith after Trennan forces a turnover with some dogged determination and some jam. We hit the intermission, and the Nashville Predators a significantly better performance in the second 20 minutes than in the first 20 minutes. As a matter of fact, they would generate 13 shots on goal in the second period for a game total of 15. Tampa Bay would only get 5 shots on goal in the entirety of the second period for a game total of 18. So we roll things over to the fresh sheet in the final 20 minutes of regulation. 11 seconds in, it's Juuso Parsonen's first goal of the season. He battled to keep the puck in. He gets the pass from Forsberg, drives to the net, and finishes. Nashville holds a 2-1 lead. Parsonen's first goal of the season. Only 11 seconds. Nashville Predators came out and looked incredible in these first 11 seconds. 40 seconds into the third period, it's Roman Josi scoring a goal, but it's immediately waved off due to Luke Evangelista's goaltender interference. Seems to be the right call on this one. Unfortunately for the captain, not only does he have his goal waved off, but then at 1:17 of the third, it's going to be off to the box. 2 minutes for interference. Paul would get his first power play goal, first goal of the season for the Tampa Bay Lightning. It was a rebound put back with Saros scrambling, and that ties the game up at 2 apiece. But at 3:07 of the third period, it would be Hagel awarded a penalty shot because of Luke Schenn holding him while he was attempting to separate for a breakaway. Penalty shot would be converted by Hagel. Just a absolute sick shot off the top of the leg pad and then off the bottom of the crossbar and into the net to give Tampa Bay a 3-2 lead. How quickly the Lightning can strike. I know, stupid. 6:29 of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Victor Hedman. 7:06 of the third period, it's Kucherov off to the box. 2 minutes for hooking, and it's going to be Johansson coming up with a big save right here before Tommy Novak can score his first goal of the season. Upper 90 snipe from the circle short side. It was Tomasino setting the screen right in front, definitely taking away the eyes of the netminder. We have a 3-3 hockey game in Tampa Bay. Nashville Predators power play goal. 9:44 into the third period. It's Luzon off the box. 2 minutes for high sticking, or should I say embellishment, throwing the head back, or whatever you want to call it. This should not have been called in any way, shape, or form. So 9:44, Luzon is off to the box for a penalty that never should have been called. Saros comes up with a save on Kucherov, and then Saros comes up with a save on Stamkos, but Paul converts for his second power play goal, his second goal of the season, and it was Schenn losing Paul in the slot. Now, I've got to tell you, Schenn was not very good in this first game. We'll discuss that more later. Tampa Bay holds a 4-3 lead now over the Nashville Predators on home ice. 11-12 of the third period. It is Philip Tomasino off to the box. 2 minutes for puck over glass. Tampa Bay with so much fancy passing. It was really mesmerizing to watch. Hedman finally gets the opportunity to shoot, but misses the open net from the high slot, putting it high over the crossbar. Nashville Predators penalty kill is able to survive. At 16:19 of the third period, UC Saros comes up with a save on Sergachev. 16:48, Johansson comes up with a save on Sissons. Novak just misses the rebound opportunity. 18:11, Johansson comes up with a save on Forsberg. 19:48 with a 6-on-5 extra attacker. Johansson comes up with a save on Novak one last time. Kucherov is able to gather in the rebound, and 10 seconds later fires it into the empty net with just 2 seconds left to give Tampa Bay a 5-3 lead. That would be your final score. Tampa Bay would outshoot Nashville 34-31. So the Predators were non-existent in the first 20 minutes of this game and took too many penalties to ever defeat a professional team like the Tampa Bay Lightning with as much experience and as much skill as they have. But there were signs for the first game under Andrew Brunette, for the first game under Barry Trotz, as well as the new GM. The Nashville Predators showed signs. O'Reilly clearly clicking with Forsberg and Parson. Thought that first line looked very good. And for the Nashville Predators, they certainly, once they got their skates underneath them, and believe me, it was not an attractive first 25-30 minutes of this game, but the final 30 minutes, the Preds showed that they can skate, they showed that they can play hockey, and they certainly showed that once they implement the system in the way that Andrew Brunette wants them to implement the system, I think that this is going to be a enjoyable team to watch, and they can just continue to bring the jam and that determination, then I expect them to continue growing. As PK Subban said in our little guest analyst clip, you can't wait 20 games to get adjusted, or your season is basically over. So for the Nashville Predators, it's a shame that they were tied in the third period and couldn't earn a point, but it was a tough expectation going into Tampa Bay on opening night with all of the new factors. Not making any excuses, just happy with the way the Nashville Predators responded after a putrid first 25 minutes, and they really did respond, and it was a lot of the youth involved. I'm glad to see the youth out there on the power play. All of this is going to be stuff that we talk about coming up in the next part of the show. Coming up, we have full analysis, we have box score, we have Brian Baston coming up, and so much more on the full episode of the Renegades of Puck podcast. You can catch the full episode coming out tomorrow morning, first thing after every game day, 7 a.m. Central Time is when we release our full episodes. That's the instant game reaction and recap right here, the Rebirth Sports full game recap from the bunker. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier.